Quite apart from being the fabled final frontier, space really is the motor caravanner's holy grail. Unfortunately, we do tend to want our cake and eat it too. Out on the road we want something compact and nimble, while back on site, well, we basically want Buckingham Palace on wheels. In short, we want the impossible dream. Luckily for us though, French manufacturer Chausson has been aware of this conundrum for some time and has long endeavoured to bring the best possible compromise in terms of design and space to the market. This is its latest offering. It's called the Flash 610, and straight away it grabs your attention, not by its striking good looks, although it is rather handsome, but because it's based on the latest Ford Transit. And with 155 brake horsepower under your right boot, you're not going to be hanging around either. It's probably fair to say that the Chausson Flash 610 is not all mouth and no trousers on the outside either. Some seriously intelligent thinking has clearly gone into its design, and nowhere is this more obvious than in this enormous garage. It's not completely four square inside, but we do like the fact that it has a fitted light and grippy flooring. It even has 3 access doors, which is almost over the top, but in a good way. It's not often you see power in there either, but this vehicle has 230 volt and 12 volt power. It's not perfect though. It's a shame this toilet hatch is on the awning side, and the same goes for the gas locker, which incidentally can only take 1 cylinder. That's not really enough. Never mind, let's see what it's like on the inside. You enter the Flash 610 straight into its lounge area, and what a lounge it is. There's room enough here on the L-shaped section for 4 adults, maybe even 5, and there's space enough on the little settee opposite for 2 more. It does seem a shame that the cab seats don't appear to swivel for ultimate entertaining excesses, but it's not exactly cramped in here. On the plus side, we do like this faux half leather upholstery. It looks the business and feels comfortable and hard wearing. And this table is big enough for plenty at dinner time, and it slides hither and yon for ultimate flexibility. There's a potential that it might have felt just a little dark in here were it not for this panoramic roof light over the cab area, since there are no reading lights in here, and we'll explain why a little later on. It's also worth mentioning that this area converts into a small double bed, but really and truly this is a spacious and accommodating 2-berther, so we doubt very much it'll get a whole lot of use. The space theme continues here in the 610's kitchen. As is often the case with continental motorhomes, there's not a huge amount of worktop space, and this 3-burner hob has no spark ignition. But would you look at the size of these soft close drawers? They're absolutely enormous. It's much the same story up here too. These eye-level lockers pass the all-important cereal box test with consummate ease. There's plenty of kit in here too. Directly opposite is a 170 litre true fridge freezer with a spark ignition grill directly above. At this point you're probably wondering where the main bed is. And the answer is right here above the lounge. It's a drop-down electric affair, but to access it first you have to drop the table. To do that, you have to turn a key here on the rear of the half dinette. Once you've done that, simply insert a second key here, press a button, and the whole affair drops quickly and silently down from the ceiling. Once it's in place, you're faced with this enormous and thickly padded mattress. It sits on a proper sprung base too, and there's loads of room in here, even for 6-foot+ adults. There's no padded headboard in here, unfortunately, but those missing reading lights we mentioned a little earlier on are finally revealed here. They're LED too, so they are super bright, perfect for those nighttime reading sessions. If you're still not fully convinced that this is a particularly spacious motorhome, then perhaps the end washroom will finally convince you. Not for the first time in this review we find ourselves using the words "it's absolutely huge," and it really is. Part of it is illusion, of course, thanks to this large mirror-fronted wardrobe, but there really is a lot of dressing room in here. There's loads of storage space too, with shelves and cupboards just about everywhere you look. For ultimate bragging rights, however, you really do need to check out this simply colossal wardrobe. Seriously, you could almost get lost in there. And as you'd expect, the fully lined shower isn't short on standing room either. Full marks for the twin drains and fold down towel rail too. If you want your motorhome to be as car-like to drive as is humanly possible, then this latest Ford Transit really ought to be close to the top of your shopping list. This driving position really is excellent, and this swooping dashboard puts us rather in mind of a very large Ford Fiesta. That's a compliment, by the way. This example has the VIP pack fitted to it as well, which includes, among other things, cab air conditioning and a leather-rimmed steering wheel. This in addition to electric windows, central locking, cruise control, and even a premium stereo. This is a very pleasant place to be. We're not going to lie, this Chausson has really impressed us in pretty much every way that really matters. We love the way it looks, we really like the way it drives, and the layout is terrific. Some nice little touches inside too, including that electric table and drop-down bed. But it's one word that keeps coming back to us with this motorhome: space. There's loads of it everywhere, from the wardrobe to the garage to the lounge. It really is incredibly accommodating. And at less than £44,000 as tested, you've got to say it represents incredible value for money too.